Okay, no, I got it, no breaking, we hit the throttle. Texas to Tennessee, Houston, we got a problem. Let them talk. They only running when they're too afraid to walk. In a box in the street.
Hello, welcome back to Bridging the Gap, and welcome back to City Talks. We're here with City Council President April Jackson.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. The last time I was here with Michael and Gavin, I said I'm having President Jackson, and they thought I was going to go dig up Andrew Jackson. But we are here, and again, it is April Jackson here with us. And I guess if we could give a topic name to this, it would be Can't Get Blood Out of a Turnip.
That's right.
How are we doing with the budget?
Well, right now we're going into a closed session Thursday with the whole entire council to see what the bottom line is. Try to get people to understand what's really happening here. To me, the only thing that is really the sad thing about the budget is the union part of it.
Yeah.
That and the fire service agreement. That's the saddest part of it. To me, like I said, I've never been, in 10 and a half years, I've never, ever been in this situation before.
Yeah.
And it's the hardest, it's hard. It's really hard. But as I said before, and I will constantly say again, I will not see our city go into bankruptcy.
And I appreciate that. Now, when I said blood out of a turnip, there's a lot of demands being put on, of course, the council and the mayor. And I want to stop for a second and say again, the mayor is a former banker.
Yeah.
So money crunching is nothing new to him.
No, it's not.
And I also want to say this before I go any further. This has become something, a part of your life. You're not just elected into this. You've been in this how many years now?
10 and a half.
So let me ask you a question. Has there been any sleepless nights because of this?
Yes, many. And since this has happened, and since, the union talks have gone through, it's been, for like 3 months, it's been awful for me. To the point where I've cried and, I've tossed and turned, not had good sleep nights. During the day, I just want to be by myself to think things through. There's been several times when I've changed my mind. There's been other times that I've changed my mind back. And there's, it's just a dilemma that I'm going through. And I want everyone to know that as a fireman that works for the Salisbury City Fire Department, yes, I did. I actually did vote to get this union. I did. I did everything I could to get this union in here, and I stood behind you all. But the thing is, we don't have the money to suffice this.
Right.
And if we do, we're going to end up taking the city into bankruptcy. Whether you believe it or not, whether people see, I had someone today say something to me about the Lake Street Playground, but that money didn't come from the city. That money was grant money that was put in during the COVID season.
Sure.
It was a community development block grant for the Lake Street Playground, and there's one for the Doverdale Park, and there's one that's being issued to another facility.
So these are money in reserve.
Yes, it's been money put back, but you can't use that money for that.
Right.
Because that money's been allocated for certain projects in different communities.
Sure.
And that's what people don't understand. And that's why we fight so hard, and we love our departments who and our supervisors that go fight for these grants, because then that saves us money. And we've actually saved a lot of money through grants, but it's still not the amount of money that we need to actually keep our budget from our finances to going into bankruptcy.
Now, I have a question, and thank you. I'm trying to backtrack some of these things and find out what has been the common denominator. Like, okay, so when we had our show last week, I made the comment that you have the mayor, but you also have a city administrator, right? Mm-hmm. So there's been somebody has noticed over the years that there has been this ongoing problem with not being paid the amount needed to be paid by the county. Why wasn't this addressed earlier?
Well, actually, our administrator is new. He's not new to the job, but he's new to the city.
Sure.
And when he came in, from what I understood, he saw this.
Mm-hmm. So nobody else saw this? I mean, because
Finances saw it.
right. So I'm saying though, we had so in some of the research I've done, it seems like some of this money started being owed to the city since 2015. So we've had several administrators since then. I mean, we had Mrs. Glanz that was under Mr. Day for a while, who stayed. Didn't she stay over for under Mr. Heath for a little bit?
Just a little,
Okay,
not much longer.
So,
But
and then Mr.
they did fight to get the. Well, I'm not going to say because I was never in any of those meetings, but they did go into deliberation with the county in reference to the money. And I always ask, I want to go in. I want to know what's going on, but they would never allow me to go in those meetings. They would never. And I'm like, I want to see what's going on. I want to hear what's being said here, because something somewhere is missing. There was something always missing to me, and I felt that in my heart, and I felt like I should have been a part of that.
Interesting.
But because I wasn't the president, vice president, or even on the administrative part of it, that I wasn't allowed to even go in to just sit and listen.
But you have to deal with it. As far as being on the council, you have to vote on the budget.
Yeah.
It would only make sense that all the council people shouldn't have been allowed in these meetings. Were they closed door meetings?
Yeah. They had meetings with the executives, and it was our mayor, our president, and I'm not for sure if Mayor Boda went in at that particular time, because one time he was the president. I'm not for sure if he ever went in, I can't say. But I always asked, let me go in. I even asked the mayor this time, let me go in a meeting. Let's just let me go. Maybe two women can hash this out, and it could be a better, I'm serious, because men don't like to listen to women, and women don't like to listen to men. So we both.
I'm gonna continue to shake my head and not say a word.
And men think that we're just dumbfounded and don't know what we're talking about. And to some sense, I feel the same way sometimes about men. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. But there's a lot of things that women bring to the table that men can't. We run households.
Sure.
We run households. You may bring that paycheck in, but we run the household. So that we have a different aspect and a different look on things than men do. And we see a lot, hear a lot, know a lot. And I felt like I could have, the county executive could have sat down and had a conversation about this. And they could have been included. I wouldn't have excluded anybody.
Absolutely.
And that's why I went, and I don't usually go to county council meetings.
Yes,
the last time I went to a county council meeting, it was in reference to the actual landfills. Okay. And when I went in there, I felt, the last one I went to, I'm telling you, was when we wanted to do the honorary name, street naming.
Okay.
And they didn't have a ordinance for it, so I kind of helped them get an ordinance together to get this done.
Thank you.
But when I went in there, I was very passionate about what I was talking about, speaking about. And I just wanted to let them know that we have been robbed this whole 10 years of my tenure. We have been robbed. We have not been given the allotted amount of money that we deserve. It's not that we deserve it. Like I told the fire department, the union, they were, come in every Monday and beat us up. But you weren't at the necessary meeting to get this fire service agreement up to where your voices are important everywhere. Sure. Just not at the city council meeting, but they're also important at the county council level, because those are the ones who owe us the money. And if we don't have the money, we can't pay the union.
Now, let me ask you this. I know you said that the argument that comes from the county is that this administration has paid back more than any other administration. That is a fact, correct? Yeah. However, the goal is to get caught up.
Yeah, the goal is to get to that $5 million.
So let me ask you this, because I know over at just dealing with the county a lot of times the purse can be held up by the council. What has the council said to you about why they haven't allotted this? Because there are those that's on the council that's been on councils for the longevity and probably can tell you when they were actually up the par on spending.
Well, they really didn't give a good reason, for real, to me, not for me. The only thing I heard was this should have came in way before the budget came to the council.
And that came from a council person?
Yeah, it should have came in way before it came to the council for the approving the budget,
Now, there was a council person, actually, I'll say it, Councilman Holloway, who was questioning because the city fire department, you cover a lot of that outside of your area. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, it's almost a third, almost 1,000 calls happen outside of city limits, which is almost a third of the calls from Salisbury City Fire Department happen outside it. But his concern was, why were they sitting outside of Food Lion?
Well, yeah, it was, and I wanted to say something so bad and not be disrespectful or anything, but I would prefer the fire truck to be outside of Food Line and a call be made for a fire, and all they can do is just run and jump in it, than to have to go all the way back to the fire station and get prepared to go to a fire, because that's downtime. He said he also saw them riding around in the vehicle, and Chief Frampton honestly told him there could have been a training. It could have been a training. He can't specifically say what it was, but he said it could have been a training. And I'm just like, stop picking things apart and finding little things to pick with the city about when we have bigger issues in this city right now and in the county, because if you don't up this fire service agreement, then the blood's going to be on your hands. And honestly, it's going to be on both of our hands, because I feel like this. I'm not that type of person that wants to see anything bad happen to anybody. I don't want to put people in uncompromising situations. But sometimes you have to push that button. Sometimes you just have to push that button, and I hate for somebody to lose a life because we're going through this. Just give us what we are due. And that's all I have to say. Just give us what we're due. Just give us what we're due, and we can go, and then every year we just get the same amount every year. But just because you gave us more than any of this, that doesn't mean that that's enough.
Sure. And I'm sitting here, I'm thinking more as you're telling me these things. I didn't know until we actually sat down that you kind of got some resistance from Councilman Holloway, who has been on council for well over a decade. And the money that's owed in arrears has been well over a decade. Could it be the kind of the hardhead mentality of this? That's why this has gotten to this point. Now, the other question I would have is the other councilman that's been on for a long time owns a lot of rental properties that I don't think they're all in city limits. So I wonder how he feels about this.
Well, he didn't say, John, I know you're talking about. He didn't really say much of anything. Only thing I did hear him say was that it should have been brought to them before it came to this decision making of the budget. It should have been discussed, because right now they're at the time to approve the approving point of the budget. And the cut was 2.3 million. And
2.3 for 3 fire departments? So, okay, and that's compared to, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's compared to, normally all the fire departments, including the volunteer ones, get $333,000. So 3 times 3, so that's about $1 million you normally get, so you got 2 point, how much? 2.3, but there's still money that's owed. And okay, now here's my other thing is from what you just said there, because I recall hearing it out your mouth over a year ago when I was at a city council meeting, and you were just like, well, why hasn't accounting paid us back? What's up with that money? So it's been on your radar for over a year.
It's been on my radar for years.
How did it escape their radar? Okay.
I don't know.
So what happens if, and what I mean...
But my thing is, and excuse me, if you owe a bill...
Sure.
You owe a light bill. What do they do? If you don't pay your bill, cut it off.
Yes.
If you have a car and you don't pay your car payment, they take your car.
Yep. That's where I'm going with this. Yep.
Yes. So just give us the whole $5 million, and each year just compete. You have the money. I can't even say the county doesn't have the money. They have the money. They have the money. you have it, and I've had so many people come up to me and April, this not right. I'm like, look, you can come to me any way you want to, but until you see our financial situation, then you can talk to me. Until then, I can't. Our finance and our director of finances, Sandy's very good.
Sure.
Very good. And every time I've talked to her, Melissa has spoken with her, Sharon has spoken with her. I don't even know if the other two have even spoken to her in reference to the finances. But when she looks at me, she's like, we can't keep taking money out of the reserve.
Right.
Because if we keep taking it, if we were to go for a bond or anything, we couldn't get it. We couldn't even get a loan.
I like to move it. Jumped off the porch, now I'm just cool. I had to change my mood in life. When I woke up, it's not just Judy. I like to move it. So please get out the way, excuse me. I like to move it. Jumped off the porch, now I'm
It
just
belonged back.
So you brought up another point. See, thank you for bringing that reserve thing up. Is that something the council's, saying, or the counties, like, you have reserves? Because the reason why I say that is I've also heard that also when it came to budget hearings over there and things that the county executive wanted to do, but we're talking about loan versus they're like, no, let's go in our reserve. So maybe they're saying you got reserve like they have a reserve.
We have a reserve, but if we go digging in it for the money that is needed, we will end up going bankrupt because we won't have it.
Wow.
It's just like you saving all your life for whatever. And mind you, yes, you're going to have to take out of it sometime. Because it seems like every time I save some money, it's to be spent on something. Something always goes wrong. Believe that. And in the real world, we may spend it all on whatever. But what do when we go to get something again, Neil, or whatever, go to buy something, or go for credit, to check our credit, what does it say? You don't have enough to suffice this.
And if you go into your reserve, does it hurt your credit rating?
Yes.
And that should be something
Yes,
that
that's what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying. If we take everything out of our credit and we pinch down to, I'm just going to off the top of my head say $2 to $3 million, $4 million probably. What happens when we have a catastrophe? What happens when something big happens? We don't even have enough money to take care of it.
This is just unique to me, just seeing the situation y'all are in with this, and the holdout is on the county level, because I'm seeing kind of a repeat occurrence from what has happened with other budget seasons, and how going against the county council and getting money to them, it's like getting blood out of a turnip. I get it. You like the executive, she's concerned with her credit rating for the county. You're concerned with your credit rating for the city. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, what stands in the way of that? It's kind of unique. You made a comment a little earlier about you going in those meetings with the female county executive. You're both concerned about credit ratings, but it's the almost all male council that's saying no. It's interesting. Now, let me ask you this. What happens if we don't come to an agreement? And let's say the council does not give you what y'all need, and the firefighters get upset. Mutual aid, how does that affect it?
It's going to affect the union's already been affected. It's already been affected, to the utmost. It has, and that's the sad part to me, that it's been affected.
Well, let me ask you this. Will the city, unfortunately, not want to? Because I can say this before I ask this question. About two years ago, I had a friend of mine who was the commissioner of Hebron. He's not the commissioner there anymore. I don't need to know that name. But he had reached out to me because he knows that I try to bridge the gap in a lot of ways with people. And I knew the then brand new elected mayor, Randy Taylor. He said, hey, I'm hearing word that Salisbury's thinking about not covering us if we have to step out to help West Side or step out to help Delmar because of this financial situation. I personally called Randy Taylor, and he said, I need time to look at the whole situation. Something needs to happen. Let them know that, but let them know I will cover them. So, all that being said, Ben, and where we are right now, if we don't come to an agreement, will that mean that Salisbury will reluctantly have to slow down mutual aid other places?
Yes, it will.
And that's 898 calls I think we looked at outside of your district. And with only maybe about 2,500 within your district.
That's right, and that's including that 800.
Wow. Now,
900.
So, do you think that we're ready for maybe and there's something else that we talked about when I had Gavin and Michael on the show. You know, we have a county sheriff. We have a county executive. We have a state's attorney that kind of covers all of it, right? What about a county-wide fire department?
I think it'd be a good idea. It'd be something that they would have to suffice themselves. And I think they should invest in it. It would be better for them if, since they don't want to give us the $5 million, invest into your own. And then we'll see how much they put into their pockets.
Well, because here's another thing that I did my own research on, because nobody's going to probably not going to tell us unless you.
Because when they see how much these fire trucks and the apparatuses that go on there, the life-saving mechanisms that they need to have, the suits that they need to wear, that respirators and the other things that they need to clean up all that. And the washers and dryers that they need to clean this and get the cancer agents out, cancer causing agents out. Then they'll have a different look at stuff. It's expensive. Those trucks are millions of dollars, 100,000 or more. That's a lot of money.
They are.
And I'm not going to say $100,000 because you can buy a car for $100,000 right now. So I'm going to say about $1 million for one of them fire trucks.
Yep. Well, I mean, here's the thing with as far as where some of the money coming, because if you ask somebody, and I don't know on the city level, but I know I've asked people on the county level before, is there a fire tax? Oh, there's no fire tax.
Nope.
But if you research it, it's all listed under property tax. Now, here's something for a person like me, my wife and I. We own property in city limits, but we pay property tax for the county and the city. So it's disguised, but we're paying double fire tax.
Yeah.
So having a county-wide fire and ambulance system, you know, and I also heard this said also, I think Gavin brought this point up, you know, when you start having the holding back of money like that, that's when you start having independent fire companies. Because they're going to be like, you pay for play, if you will.
Yeah. For real.
So we may be heading that direction if we don't try to, fix this.
Yeah. And we need to fix it immediately.
So
because we're playing with people's lives. We're playing with people's lives. And we're playing with people's lives. It's just point blank. We're playing with other people's lives. That goes for the firefighters and the residents. We're playing with their lives, and I don't believe in that, and I don't want that blood on my hands.
Amen to that. And by the way, that's voters and non-voters too.
That's right. It doesn't matter whether you're a voter or not. If a fire breaks out in your house, the Salisbury Fire Department has to go there. So it doesn't matter, you know, but what matters is that we come together on a common denominator and do what's right for the citizens. It's not even about the city. It's about the citizens.
Sure.
And when we come together and think about the people,
wow,
it's about the people. It's not about us. I think this is the most selfish thing we could ever do. Everything. I think it's selfish. I think it's being very selfish. Because you know why? Because some of these people sitting on these councils, firebreaker, I know they're coming to my house. I know, but do you ever think about they might not get to your house? Same thing applies for the city. They may not get to your house. I mean, because we're being put in an uncompromising position, and we shouldn't be. And we should take this very seriously. We shouldn't take this light at all. We have people's lives right in the palm of our hand.
Already made a way. Either hop up or step aside. Cause we ain't finished. Grab a ticket or you're gonna get the smoke when we're on up.
Small town, raw sound, what you know about it?